Good morning, one and all. Today we are going to start another new chapter from the history that is, we are proud of them. In this chapter, we are going to detailedly discuss about many of freedom fighters and as well as many of the personalities who gave a more contribution for our country. So, for example, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, she is one of the greatest women of all time in India, one who fought against British East India Company in the year of 1857. And after that, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, the man who actually fought against the British East India Company at the time of Indian freedom struggle. And after that, the man who actually very popularly known as Netaji, Subhash Chandra Bose. And the last one, the Sarojini Naidu. So, like this, the very important four personalities is there in this chapter. We are going to detailedly discuss about these personalities. First one, Rani Lakshmi Bai. So, Rani Lakshmi Bai, also known as Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, she was an important leader of the revolt of 1857. She, along with the Tantia Topi, Nana Sahib, and many of others, challenged the British for the first time in 1857. So that is very popularly known as a first war of Indian independence, the revolt of 1857. So revolt of 1857, the chapter is already over, and you people know that what are the causes for the revolt and how our Indian leaders fought against the British East India Company and what are the effects of the 1857 revolt. We already discussed about these things in the previous chapter, but here also little bit we have to be again realize that how the Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai fought against the British East India Company. You people know that Rani Lakshmi Bai was one of the greatest freedom fighter at the time of 1857, one who opposed a doctrine of lapse. Before we have to understand what is this doctrine of lapse, we have to again analyze the political circumstance of the Jhansi at the time of 1857. Rani Lakshmi Bai was born around 1835 and was named as Manikarnika. She married Gangadhar Rao, and the ruler of the Jhansi, after the death of his first wife, they had a son who died within 3 months of his birth. So Gangadhar Rao adopted a relative son called as Damodar Rao. Here we have to understand Gangadhar Rao was husband of Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai. But after they had a son, within the 3 months he died. After that, there is a need of successor to the Jhansi. Then what the Gangadhar Rao did, he adopted a son named as Damodar Rao. Is actually a relative son. ಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ರಾವ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ದಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಗು 3 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಸತ್ತು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉತ್ತರಾಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧಿಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದಾಮೋದರ್ ರಾವ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಗುವನ್ನ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. But according to the doctrine of lapse, which was introduced by the British East India Company, there is no opportunity or there is no power for the adopted son to become a successor of the king if the king was died without a son. ಗಂಡು ಸಂತಾನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಜ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸತ್ತು ಹೋದರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ದತ್ತು ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನ ನಡೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ when Damodar Rao is very young, he cannot be able to rule. So that's why indirectly and directly, actually directly it was ruled by the Jhansi, means Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, because Lakshmi Bai took over the reins of the Jhansi till Damodar Rao was old enough to do so. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಗುಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಬಾಯಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಬಟ್ when doctrine of lapse was implemented, so according to that a new rule from the British Indian Company, the successor, it means it should be a son of a king. Adopted son don't have a power, an adopted son don't have a ಅಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ಸಕ್ಸೆಸರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್. ದತ್ತು ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾಯಿ. So Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, that Damodar would not be the king even when he was grow up, and asked her to leave the fort. Meanwhile, the revolt of 1857 broke out, and the Rani decided to fight against the British East India Company. So, included women in army and trained them well. She was a brave soldier and a good leader. Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai had taken a support from Nana Saheba, Tantya Topi. So like this, many of other leaders also supported Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai at the time of 1857. So that was very popularly known as a first war of Indian independence also. So after the Nana Saheba injured in 1857 revolt, when at the time when he fought against the British, when the British attacked the Jhansi, she was seriously injured, and after that the Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai was died in the year of 1858. So this is the contribution of the Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai we have to remember here. So she is one of the brave soldier. So ಆಗ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಬಾಯಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬದುಕಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಶಿ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಶಿ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಎಂಪೈರ್. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಬಾಯಿ ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಫೌಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಝಾನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆಕೆ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ವುಮೆನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾಯಿ. But unfortunately, she was died in the year of 1858 after she is injured in the war. ಆ ಒಂದು ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕೆಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇಂಜೂರ್ಡ್ಗಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಗಾಯಗಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಶಿ ವಾಸ್ ಡೈಡ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ರಣಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನು ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಅನದರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಬಾಲಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ತಿಲಕ್. So at the time of Indian freedom struggle, there are many leaders in there. One of the radical leader, one of the extremes leader, we have to remember here, that is Balagangadhar Tilak. So Balagangadhar Tilak is also known as Lokmanya Tilak, was born on 23rd July in 1856 in Ratnagiri. Especially it was located in the state Maharashtra. He completed his studies from Deccan College, Pune in 1877. He started as a teacher and went to become a journalist. He criticized the Western education system because he felt that disrespected India's heritage. He took it upon himself to improve the quality of education for India's youth and started the Deccan Education Society. Balagangadhar Tilak, why he opposed the Western education system? So actually Balagangadhar Tilak has an extreme nationalism. There are many of the leaders is there at the time of India's freedom struggle, but Balagangadhar Tilak was one of the very popular person, one of the popular freedom fighter who is known as Lokmanya Tilak anta heli karitare. So he opposed the Western education system. Oppose it means he was criticized. ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಒಂದು ಪಾಶ್ಚಿಮಾತ್ಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಪರಂಪರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಚಾರನ ಇವರು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್, because of the reason he felt that this Western education disrespected India's heritage. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನ, ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯವನ್ನ, ಪರಂಪರೆಯನ್ನ ಈ ಪಾಶ್ಚಿಮಾತ್ಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಗೌರವಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇವರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್, ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲಿಸಮ್, ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ಲೋರೀಸ್ heritage among all the people, to bring the awareness among all the people, he started his own education society, which is very popularly known as a Deccan Education Society. ಆ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಎ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಬರಲಿ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲಿಸಮ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಬರಲಿ, ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಂಪರೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ದೇಶೀಯ ಪರಂಪರೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ ಬರೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಡೆಕ್ಕನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್, ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಫೈಟರ್ಸ್, ಈ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಪೀಪಲ್ ನೋ ದಟ್. ಇವರು ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋಂತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಹಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್, ಕೇಸರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಮರಾಠ. Kesari became very popular with the people, and Tilak, through these newspapers, urged every Indian to fight against the British East India Company, fight for their rights. ತಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕುಗಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕವಾಗಿ ಜನರ ಹತ್ರ ಇವರು ತಲುಪ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. He wanted the British to give India as an independence back. He joined the Indian National Congress in the 1890, but could not agree with the moderate views of some leaders. So actually ಇವರು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಾಡರೇಟ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮಂದಗಾಮಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ದೋಸ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ಪೀಸ್, ದೋಸ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ನಾನ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್, ದೇ ವರ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಮಾಡರೇಟ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಬಾಲಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ತಿಲಕ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ದ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. Don't believe in peace. It means if we are going to beg in front of the British Indian Company, they did not give independence to us. That is a prejudiced mind of ಬಾಲಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ತಿಲಕ್. ಬಾಲಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ತಿಲಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಶಾಂತಿ ಮೂಲಕವಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ಬೇಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದು ಅವ್ರ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್ ಲೀಡರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ರ್ಯಾಡಿಕಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಒಬ್ರು ತೀವ್ರಗಾಮಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಇವರು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರಿಂದ ಕಿತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇವರ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ he was supported by the nationalists such as ಬಿಪಿನ್ ಚಂದ್ರಪಾಲ್, ಲಾಲಾ ಲಜಪತ್ ರಾಯ್ in this regard. ಇವರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. And so that's why these peoples were known as Lal, Bal and Paul. So in the 1908, when two revolutionaries, the Prafulla Chowki, Khudiram Bose, tried to kill a British district judge, they were caught while Chowki committed suicide. The Prafulla Chowki committed suicide. Bose was hanged. Tilak in his newspaper Kesari defended them, called as a self-rule of Swaraj, was arrested and sent to the prison in Mandalay in Burma. He was there from 1908 to the 1914. After his release, he started All India Home Rule League or Home Rule Movement in 1916 with the help of Annie Besant and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and finally Tilak was died in the year of the 1920. So here Prafulla Chowki is Prafulla Chaki, or actually it's Prafulla Chowki. The Prafulla Chowki and Khudiram Bose, both the persons are actually very popular. They were revolutionaries. Revolutionary means who believe in violence. By the violence, they are going to be taken independence. They try to take an independence from the British. ಅಹಿಂಸೆ ಮೂಲಕವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಟವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಂಥನ್ನ ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ರ್ಯಾಡಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಪ್ರಫುಲ್ಲ ಚೌಕಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಖುದೀರಾಮ್ ಬೋಸ್ ಅವರು ಇಬ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಚೌಕಿ ಕಮಿಟೆಡ್ ದ ಸೂಸೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬೋಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಖುದೀರಾಮ್ ಬೋಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗಡ್. ಬಟ್ ತಿಲಕ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ he defended them and called for the self rule Swaraj. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇವರು ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವರಾಜ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹುಟ್ಟಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. So this is the very important thing we have to remember. And after the Bala Gangadhar Tilak, the one more very important personality we have to remember is none other than the man who actually very popularly known as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose or Netaji, as he was better known as born on 23rd January 1897 at Cuttack in Orissa. No, that is known as Odisha. His father Janakinath Bose was a lawyer. Netaji attended a missionary school there. He studied in a Scottish church college in Calcutta and went to the England in 1920. After being successful in the Indian Civil Service examination, but he resigned in 1921 and went on to become an active freedom fighter. Subhash Chandra Bose also one of the greatest person we have to remember because of the reason in beginning he is appointed as an ICS officer. It means Indian Civil Service Officer. But he resigned that job. Why? He believed that we have to get an independence from the British unless we are the slave to them. ನಾವು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಗುಲಾಮರಾಗೆ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಇವರು ಮನೋಭಾವನೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಇವರು ICS ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ಆಸೆನ ಪಡೆದೇನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರು ರಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತೊರೆದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ನೇತಾಜಿ, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಬೋಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್, he has a great bright future in front of them after he's completed the education, but he believed that we have to get an independence. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಚಲವಾದ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇತ್ತು, ನಾವು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಫೈಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ಗೆ ಪಾದಾರ್ಪಣೆನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ನೇತಾಜಿ became the president of the Indian National Congress twice, was sent to jail in Mandalay and Rangoon. Since he was very sick in jail, he was released and put under the house arrest. He was a master of disguise and escaped many times from the police. After many adventures, he managed to reach Berlin. So actually, he was also like a revolutionary. He was also like a radical. He established the Indian National Army to fight against the British East India Company. By his revolutionary activities, the British Indian Company believed that if he is going to continue the same activity, one day this man is going to get an independence from us. So that's why they arrested Subhash Chandra Bose. After that they released them. But finally they succeed to reach Berlin. Berlin, it is also one of the very important country, one who actually participated in the Second World War. So Netaji's concept, Subhash Chandra Bose concepts, we have to get a support from other countries to fight against the British. ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಬಲವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ. ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಪೀಸ್, ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ನಾನ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಬೋಸ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ violence. This is the difference we can identify between the Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose. Whatever it may be. So here, at the time of the Second World War, in the 1939, Germany, Italy, Japan had attacked the Britain, France and Russia and other countries also. Netaji wanted to get help from the German. You know that, I already explained that. So the concept of the Subhash Chandra Bose is nothing but German actually witnessed for one of the dictator known as Adolf Hitler. So this Subhash Chandra Bose having a communication with the Adolf Hitler also, and having a communication with many of other countries' leaders also. But this was opposed by the Mahatma Gandhiji. So that's why at the time of the 1945, so Subhash Chandra Bose, a beautiful concept, that is a beautiful slogan, give me a blood and I will give you freedom. ನನಗೆ ರಕ್ತ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. This is very popular. I hope you people also know that. And after that, after he established the Indian National Army, many Indians who had been prisoners of war had worked outside India. So Netaji felt that by peaceful means Indians would not be able to get a freedom, as the British would not leave the country without bloodshed. He encouraged the women to participate and formed a Rani Jhansi Bahani led by the Captain Lakshmi Singh Saigal. He started using slogans as Jai Hind to encourage the Indians, and songs were also used for this purpose. So here, if you take an example, those people, those soldiers actually prisoners in outside the country, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಭಾರತೀಯರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಸನರ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಕೈದಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಇವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವುಮೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜನರಲಿ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ದಟ್ Was died in a plane crash, air crash in 1945, August 18, but it is a mystery in India. ಸೊ ಇವರು 1945 ಆಗಸ್ಟ್ 18 ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ನಂಬಿಕೆ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲವು ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಬದುಕಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಇದು ರಹಸ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, another very important personality, that is Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was born in Hyderabad on 13th February 1879. She was the eldest daughter of Aghornath Chattopadhyaya and Varada Sundari Devi. Her father was the founder of Nizam College in Hyderabad and her mother was a poet. So ಇವರ ತಂದೆ ಚಟ್ಟೋಪಾಧ್ಯಾಯ ನಿಜಾಮ್ ಕಾಲೇಜನ್ನು ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು. ಅಂಡ್ her father also a poet, means Sundari Devi also a poet. ಕವಿಯತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. Sarojini Naidu herself was a freedom fighter and poet. She was a genius from her childhood days. She entered the Madras University at the young age of 12 years. At the age of 16 years, she went to England to study the King's College, London, and later at Girton College, Cambridge. At the age of 19, she married Dr. Naidu, a doctor. She also spoke several languages. It means many languages she can capable to talk. Sarojini Naidu, basically she is not only a freedom fighter, she is also a poet. ಇವರು ಕೇವಲ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಹೋರಾಟಗಾರ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಕವಿಯತ್ರಿ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರೋದು ನಾವು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, if you are going to find out how she is become a poet, how she got an education, Madras University and King's College in England, like this, the career of the Sarojini Naidu is totally different. After her return to India, she joined the freedom struggle and worked with the Gandhiji. She was the first Indian woman to become a president of Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress ಗೆ ಮೊದಲ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷೆಯಾಗಿ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾದಂತರು ಕೂಡ Sarojini Naidu. She worked for the betterment of the women and working classes. She accompanied Gandhiji in India become independent. So here she worked for the betterment of women ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಥಾನಮಾನ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ಥಾನಮಾನ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಸರೋಜಿನಿ ನಾಯ್ಡು. And she accompanied the Gandhiji to the second round table conference in London. So second round table conference, that is also very important thing here. After we get an independence, what type of the rules and regulations, what type of the government we have to adopt it, what is the procedure that, to discuss that, the very important thing is there, that is round table conference. Sarojini Naidu also is going to be participate there. And after that, she was made a governor for the Uttar Pradesh, and after that she died while she was holding the post in 1949. Her collection of poems is called as the Golden Threshold, was published in 1905. So this is all about the Sarojini Naidu. So this is personalities, not only a freedom fighters, they were actually their sacrifice we have to remember, isn't it? So that's why these all personalities made us proud. Fine, thank you.